CCL, more Heroes of the Storm with the Sidestep Kings and Oxygen Esports, everybody. Map number 1 in the best of 5 Heroes of the Storm series over here. On the left side, we already got our StarCraft character. We got God Filth for the Sidestep Kings, fans team. On Tychus, Ultralisk on Gul'dan, Cattle on Diablo, Kyoja on Urel, and Hyde on Malfurion. And to the right side of the map, Oxygen Esports with Red Robot on Garrosh, Banana H on Deckard Cain, Madara on Chromie, with Prismaticism on Greymane, and Nazmas is playing Blaze. So, another best of 5 Heroes of the Storm match where the Sidestep Kings can climb the rankings a bit. Oxygen Esports has won 3 out of the 3 matches that they played thus far. Sidestep Kings, they only were able to decide one of the best of 5s in their favor. So today, there's a chance for them to take Oxygen Esports down and yeah, make this a little bit more competitive over here. If that's going to be the case or not, we're going to see. First map is Infernal Shrines, as you can see here. And as usual, as we're starting into the best of 5, also a bit of an announcement here that in the CCL, all of these games are played on the North American Heroes of the Storm server, on NA Central to be exact. So that means that European and Korean players all have a ping disadvantage of 120 to 150 on average. There's a couple of outliers, of course, but that's the average that we're talking about here. Now, I feel especially for Sidestep Kings, having multiple nationalities in their lineup is going to be a bit of a problem when it comes to training too, because they have people out of 3 different time zones with Koreans, Europeans, and North American players in their setup. And I personally believe that this is one of the biggest problems that they had thus far. If they can turn it around today or not, that's a question that will be answered as all of this unfolds in front of us. With Tychus, we got a level 1, again, the quarterback. There's a couple of builds that you can play on him. Either you go into the extended auto attack range and play around that with the focus on auto attack shots, or you're going into the grenade build that especially Nick, for example, prefers these days. And that's kind of what they're doing right now too. We have Gul'dan in for wave clear on the objective and the shrine, so Echoed Corruption is currently going to be played out by him. And yep, Madara is also getting attacked here in the back as he eats quite a bit of the fell. Ultralisk doing his best here, and it's the final camp. Both of the teams already took a Khaldor, so the third one is being fought over as usual. Red Robot is already pushing them around. Hyde gets attacked, and they're zoning them out here with the help of Malfurion. Bird Boy is doing his thing. So far, so good. The 4 abilities are in, and with that, let's go. Also, as we're heading into another series here, guys, as usual, big shout out to the patrons supporting the channel and also helping to keep a lot of the coverage here live. I mean, lately we've been casting the Korean tournament over on the channel, and now, of course, the amateur series is also getting a little bit of love with the Rare Cup, Epic Cup, and others of Heroes launch getting the coverage, and the CCL, that is true too. If you want to support all of that, then check out patreon.com/Khaldor. It's always appreciated. And to all the people already supporting the channel here, big shout out and a big thank you from my end. Now, the camps are, of course, taken again, the Shaman camps, as we have the first objective spawning, and this time we have a bottom side shrine, which pretty much means that the top camps are getting a mad amount of value. There's no globals on either side, so you have to keep someone top side that has wave clear if you're trying to benefit from that. And right now, both of the teams are deciding against it. Instead, they're focusing on the objective. Level 4 has now been taken, and that's actually the deep roots over here. If you go deep roots over Broccoli, you might not get the same damage output, but you have a real cool tool to get all of these sides here and just lock the opponent out from the shrine once that you have taken control of it. So that's what they're looking for here. The bigger they are, also taken from the Sidestep Kings, as you normally see on the hero. Here comes a bit of a wall stun though. Cattle with a nice play, and that was a problem, at least for us. Oh my! Urel comes in too, just as Red Robot was able to move away from this. Deckard Cain is working overtime here with the shielding potion on level 4 too, to try and top Garrosh off again. 26 against 20 stacks now. And they're making another quick play with Ultralisk getting bodied by Chromie as she comes in here. Another big hit against Hyde. Madara is doing some serious work. Red Robot again in trouble, but he's always just soaking the damage at the front and then moves out. And here's the first objective. The Punisher gets taken, the blue team locks it in, and there's the opportunity to push the bottom forward. Top side has to be dealt with. That wall is already down. Mad value for the red team through the camp at the top. Like a lot. If they can defend well at the bottom, that would be an insane trade for them. I mean, bot lane is heavily attacked, of course. It's a 4 versus 4, and that Punisher is doing serious work. But up at the top side, I mean, just look at what's happening here. They might lose their 4 too. So this is a bit bonkers. Oh, Khaldor gets flipped in as well, and he nearly goes down. But without the slow on the keep, that's not happening. Why is it? Oh, there we go. Chromie with a big boy kill. Yay! Getting the shots fired here. First comes in with the Dragon's Breath and nearly takes Dibbles down, and then she connects the Sandblast towards the end and snipes him. But structural damage, there's more structural damage from Oxygen Esports camp topside than we've seen from the objective at the bottom of the map. So that's a bit crazy in and of itself. But this is off to a good start. I mean, this is actually a spicy one. Sidestep Kings definitely into play. They had a wild start into the season, didn't they? Oxygen Esports, as I said, they haven't lost the match yet. But Sidestep Kings, they played really weirdly. They lost to Simplicity on the first map in their first series, but then turned it around and totally crushed them. And ever since then, they started to lose best of 5 series. They played against Crowd Control and got murdered by them. And what's probably a little bit more impactful is that Granite Gaming was able to take them down without even losing a map. So the Sidestep Kings got slaughtered in that series, and they seem to be just all over the place sometimes. And yeah, it just feels a bit weird. I mean, this is a team that has a lot of fantastic players on an individual level, but it just feels that as a unit they don't mesh together all that well, and that they're struggling there. Today they have a chance to change all of that. Top fort is down by now. There's a level 10 ability for Oxygen Esports as a thank you. The old man again trying to read books to some people. Stay a while and get wrecked. Yeah, Deckard Kane. Should call him Deckard Pain because it's so painful to listen to him. But half a level is still missing. Bot lane gets pressured now too. Eventually they're going to take that fort down for sure. So that's going to happen one way or another. There's a lot of burst damage now. I mean, first of all, have Chromie, so duh. But you also have the bullet for Prismaticism, and Greymane can always do a whole lot of work with this. But they need level 10. They need level 10 first of all, and we're getting it now. The cool thing, of course, for them, as usual, is that with Odin on this map, you have Tychus in a position where he can really help you to lock in a Punisher. Once that you are roughly on 20 stacks, you pop Odin, and that normally helps you to get a lot of control there. So that's what we are seeing quite a bit. I explained in the past that in A also really like to play Alexstrasza during the HDC times for that particular reason, because Dragon Queen fulfills a very similar purpose to that. And sometimes you even saw Odin plus Dragon Queen. So a draft that was specifically designed to just have those transformations so that during the objective phase you can pop both of them and then really win objective after objective and take the game through those means. But as the second objective comes up, the only thing that we've seen so far is a single kill, single objective. We have Diablo on 85 souls, so he's sitting tight here. Hasn't really completed this yet. And they're making a play for Nazmas. I don't really do too much here. By the way, Ultralis is stacking like a madman. He's currently on 25 stacks, which is pretty cool for him. So that puts him into a spot where he's soon going to complete his quest if he plays his cards right. Especially since they're controlling the choke point in the back again. Talking about choke point control, Kyoja is already trying to control Nazmas here and just push Sim back too. 14 stacks against 11, both of the teams still close, but Oxygen Esports is starting to push in, trying to take control over here. And nearly at, oh, the combo attempt, nice, gets the stun through. Khaldor missing the initial target, but grabbing onto Chromie. The old man comes in with the ult too. And prevents the worst from happening, but here is Odin as mentioned previously, and that is where Sidestep Kings are really stepping it up and starting to take a mad lead on the minion count. 35 to 22, lockdown against Yrel, she's fine, Arcane Punisher, and the Arcane Punisher could actually, that stun is gonna get blocked. Maybe not. Alright, Punisher is not jumping just yet, so they are able to still bait it over the wall here. Yeah, Red Robot is barely able to escape through the gate before that happens. But Chromie makes the play, uses the timeout to ensure that she doesn't get stunned. Top side, Gul'dan, he can still move into the middle. Didn't really get a lot of stacks in the last encounter, by the way. Only 3, so he's sitting at 28 now. But yeah, they're not able to do anything here. This time it's a full-on defense from Oxygen Esports. And they are still ahead in experience. Level 13 is kicking in. That gives us the Ancient Blessings. We got the defensive measures on the Prowl, timeout. And 13 is still needed for the Sidestep Kings. Funny thing about the team is that honestly, that team name, it just really allows you to just make fun of them all the time. If you think about it, Khaldor, for example, died in the earlier fight simply because he didn't sidestep the Sandblast, so there's that. And Gul'dan didn't sidestep anything here either. He got taunted quickly from the Warlord's challenge on Gul'dan, and that's a kill. Bit of more defensive play from Tychus. I like that too. So Neo's still coding instead of going for any overkill talents. And Chromie is still playing it with more Sandblast now. First time actually that specs into Sandblast for them. So off we go, 2 kills to 0. It's a level lead that honestly worries me a little bit. Because if you just think this through, so far the Sidestep Kings have won both objectives. One of them was kind of successful, did some damage. Second one, not too bad, but didn't really accomplish as much. And ever since these things are of course scaling into later stages, could have been a bit more. But they are a level behind. And that can become a big problem once that your opponent walks away with talent advantages. And that's exactly what Oxygen Esports is now going to be looking for. So, yeah, here comes the move for Cattle, and he is down. Diablo, Lord of Terror, my ass. If anything, then that guy was just terrified completely. They terrorized him a little bit. So, yep, Oxygen Esports blow him up within a second, and now they have the bot lane to go through. Now, of course, the problem for Diablo is that now that he lost all of his souls, it means his hit. Oh my god, Bird Boy is down as well. Yeah, that old geezer is dead, and Cattle is still making an APOC play, trying to go for a solo kill against Chromie. Damn, son. He nearly made it happen too, but it's a 5 versus 4, and they need to be very careful of how far they want to chase this. That could turn, so you gotta be careful. But with level 16, Oxygen Esports doesn't want to go for a play just yet. They are forced into the fight though. Yeah, Red Robot is sitting here, and they're slowing them down. And now there is the 16 talent, and they kill. Tychus is dead, Dibbles is down too, and they're making a play for Ultralisk. As I said, you need to be careful how far you chase, and they definitely over-chased in this one. So yeah, big hits. Here comes the play. That's the kill. Once, twice, and then they take down Gul'dan too, and that allows them to drop the fort at the bottom of the map. Nicely done. Urel now all the way up towards the top. It's a 2-level lead pretty much. 7 kills to 0. Sidestep Kings, they are not in a good spot, especially with the Shrine activating now. They're going to lose some time until Gul'dan is back. I don't think they're even going to make a play for this. How could they? They don't have a level 16 talent. They just now have 5 heroes back up on the map. There's just no way that they can do anything here. So right now we have 33,000 damage for Greymane. We see 23k for Gul'dan. And this is going to be an objective. The first one actually in this game for Oxygen Esports. And since they just destroyed the bottom fort, they will make a play for a keep. Top 4, top keep, both down. Now I like that the camp is taken, so on the macro side, this is about as good as it gets for you. You try to apply some top pressure, and Urel takes another wave down. So I suppose, unless Oxygen Esports is willing to simply barrel through the bot lane and say, guys, we're going for it, we're trying to take that keep, they will have to send someone towards the top to defend. And I like that they're actually doing this while they keep 39 stacks on the objective. I like that a lot. So they're pretty much saying, hey, if you give us the time, we'll defend the top, and then we're going to take the objective, which gives us the chance to move through the bot lane with the entire team. And that's what they're hoping to do. Now, the blue team, of course, knows that, which is why they are now trying to force their hand by moving for the objective themselves, but they're so far behind that it's pretty much not happening. And it gives the red team, it gives Oxygen Esports all the time to even make a play for their own camp. So they take this, we have Blaze, he's grabbing the Punisher, got a bit of damage connected, and that's all that they needed. So now they have a top lane pushing thanks to the mercenary camp, and at the bottom of the map, they are moving in slowly with the rest of the team so that they can now make the play for the keep. Yeah, that is good thinking. That's exactly how you should play this. I like that a lot. They stayed at 39, defended the top lane, took their own camp, and now they can make the push through the bot lane happen. So they just turned it around on their opponent. Instead of them being the one pressured now on the top lane, it is the Sidestep Kings, and they're also getting pressure down here. Jet Propulsion misses, bunkers up early, bit afraid of the Horrify here, so he went for the bunker instead. Ultralisk didn't drop the Horrify, but it was still a good thought process here from Nazmas. He didn't want to risk anything, and here comes Odin. Odin for the defense, but they're going for Dibbles again. Cattle is in trouble. And the Frozen Punisher is disabling the keep as we speak. Greymane can always go for it. They want that. That's the minimum of what we're trying to accomplish here. And of course, this is also happening in the meantime. Another push up at the top. Keep is down. And now we should see the Sidestep Kings rotate heroes over towards the top lane in an attempt to ensure that they're not losing too much. They're probably going to lose, I would say, tower, maybe the gate, but, well, that's probably the extent of it. They're still looking for a kill, by the way. They haven't gotten a kill. Not one. Not one single kill in this entire game for the Sidestep Kings yet. And now it's level 20 versus level 17, so the 2-level lead is there. And they're moving through the mid lane again. It's just like lane after lane, get the experience, take the minions down, take it from there. Minion experience, if you're a bit interested in how exactly all of this came together, you can see there's a difference in mercenary experience too. Not a huge one though. There's the Horrify. Can they get that kill? Red Robot, he goes down. There we have it. Kill number 1, kill number 2. They get 2 kills and they're even looking for a third one. But it seems that Blaze is going to get away here. Unless Malfurion can root. Nah, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Old man comes in. Actually, Banana H could be in trouble now. Oh, careful, bro. There's the medallion, and he gets out. But yeah, that was a nice one. Look at that turnaround here. Horrify came in. They used everything that they had for this. And then the old geezer came through. But now Prismaticism at the bottom. He pushed another wave out, so that nearly gives them level 20. And someone has to defend before this is hitting the core. We're only 15, 16 minutes into it, so it's not going to take the shield down super quickly or anything, but you don't want to let that come through on the core anyways. Now, Respect the Elderly has taken on 20, the Fortified Bunker is in, and the Hunter's Blunderbuss over for Greymane, so everybody is setting up for the next fight here, and the objective this time will spawn at the top, where, you guessed it, there's no fort and no fountain available for the Sidestep Kings anymore. And right now, Oxygen Esports is very happy to fight. By the way, I praised Gul'dan initially for his good stacking. Now it took him 16 minutes to complete his level 1 quest so that he couldn't combo that properly with the Ruinous Affliction on 16. So he's 3 talents late. He just couldn't get a lot of team fights where he got value after the initial one. In fight number 1, he had a lot of stacks, was very, very quickly at 25, but then both of the next fights turned against him, and they, yeah, couldn't really set him into a good spot to get those stacks together. Now though, if he unleashes the full combo, he can do a lot here. So, level 20, half a level still. Seems like Sidestep Kings, thanks to the kills that they got, are gonna make it back in this. Kills, by the way, if you're so far ahead, if your team has a 2-level lead and your opponent gets kills against you, thanks to the underdog bonus in experience, they close that gap super quickly. That's exactly how that happened. So some people might ask themselves, if you have been new to the game, hey, they were 2 levels ahead, now it's just like 1, like what exactly happened there? It looked like they would never be able to hit a level 20 versus level 20 fight with Storm Talons. How did that happen? And the answer is simply through those kills. Because of the big gap in experience and levels between the two teams, the underdog bonus was there. And you can actually visualize that again if you're just taking a look at the hero XP. With 7 kills, we only have 5,200 experience taken by Oxygen Esports. 2 kills gave them 3,000. So that gives you a bit of an idea. Levels play a big role here in this, of course, too. And the state of the game. Yeah, Blaze is at the top. And Sidestep Kings are trying to make a play for the keep directly. It's a 4-man defense right now. Blaze is not moving back. He feels that he's totally fine all the way up to the top. And why wouldn't he? If he can get that Punisher for them, that would be kind of neat. Bot lane, 3 catapults are pushing in. Horrify attempt against Red Robot. That didn't work out for them. Nope, Indomitable is of course still there. And now this is starting to become an issue. Blaze is still at the top. In the middle, they're trying to make a play for the keep. They have not only Odin, but also Gul'dan that can push against it. But it's unlikely that they're going to get these kills in. And they know they have to move back. Was that really worth it? I mean, they took 50% of the keep's hit points off, but now the objective is lost. And they have to send people back because the core is going to take some damage now if they don't. Urel is moving in before the shield is completely obliterated. But the top lane is still going to be an issue. Arcane Punisher moves in. Even the camp has been taken now. Bot lane is still continuing to pressure. And with the second keep lost, both of the auxiliary lanes would become a liability for the Sidestep Kings. There's another Punisher jump getting procced here. Arcane Punisher now making it in. Trying to take that keep down. Kyoja also approaching. Still burning the keep down. trying to grab it here. Mid lane is getting attacked. But this could even be game if they can get a kill. If that Punisher triggers a stun and they can follow up with what they have, they might be able to snowball this. And they're looking for it, and Oxygen Esports is aware of it too. They are playing this incredibly defensive now. They don't want to expose themselves. They're waiting also for the cooldown, and they get Odin back, and now they can make those plays. Fortified Bunker gets burned down super quickly. Punisher is low, but Diablo is dead. He had the souls. He'll be back, but Blaze dies too. It's a 1-for-1 trade right now. Shields are slowly falling, but I don't think the core is even going to take damage. And they're already looking to chase. So yeah, there's the medallion that got triggered. Instead, Red Robot gets attacked. Chromie thought that she was the target, but she wasn't. 99% on the core, and goodbye, Garrosh. Time. Oh, that's a kill. Chromie! I mean, Garrosh gets wrecked as well, but it was a good one. Now, bot lane catapults are still in. That's a bit more damage. And they're actually going to get more core damage in. 99%, alright. That's a bit more lost. Gul'dan is making the play, but 85% on the core now. Fight up here is still continuing. It's another kill. All of a sudden, stagger deaths here. Sidestep Kings, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, team. Do they have a chance here? That keep in the middle is low. This keep is a freebie. If they can exploit that 4 versus 3 position, 4 versus 2 position on the map, they might just be able to, well, equalize the situation a bit. They're down to 84% on the core. But this isn't hopeless. Not after the kills that they just got. 60,000 damage for Greymane. We have 49,000 for Gul'dan. Moves through the middle now. Yrel is still pushing out the top lane. They push out the bot lane. They can take the camps. That will do the job for him. Yrel is, by the way, next to Deckard Cain, the only one in the entire game that hasn't died yet. Those two. That's it. Diablo has died 4 times. He's taking the trophy. Yrel is now moving over. And as fascinating as it is, the next objective is spawning in a slightly advantageous situation for the Sidestep Kings because it's in the mid lane. And it's also a pretty thankful spot just in general, because that's the position from which one they can rotate towards the bottom and the top the easiest in order to deal with catapults. Easy moves through the middle right now. And, well, let's go. 5 kills to 9. If they can turn this, that would be nuts. Take your camp in time for the objective. Make sure that the top lane is not going to push too hard against you. Deal with the bot lane, and then try to win the team fight. They could. They actually could. That would be pretty sexy. It would actually be really cool. But now Nazmaz is at the bot side, taking first the Khazras down. Okay, good for him. And let's see how much further they can go with this. Oxygen Esports is playing it super safe at this point. They're just sitting tight, they're sitting back, they're waiting for a chance. They want to take their own camp, of course, which is going to respawn in 38 seconds. They have to be very careful. They're already pinging everywhere. Everyone is just checking. Is there someone hiding? Is there someone sitting in a bush? It's going to be a party setup. Diablo would love to get one of those wall stuns in. Garrosh can always flip you over and then taunt you. They're going for Nazmaz. Does he have to commit to bunker? No, not yet. No commitment to bunker from him. Instead, the blue team rotates down to the bottom. They don't really want an even fight yet. They just want to see if they can get a quick kill somewhere. Nice attempt, but the combo doesn't work. Cattle already moved away from it. Could have been a flip on the stun, but now they have to top him up again. Deckard Cain also not with the bottomless flask or anything, so instead we have, as usual, the Respect the Elderly, and here's the objective. It's party time, ladies! Yep, they're already going straight for the big red button. Odin is in. Big damage against Gul'dan on the blue team side. So they have to be very careful that he doesn't fall. That would be a disaster. Here comes the old man again against Diablo. Respect the Elderly. And trying to follow up on it. There's the flip, there's the stun, and Dibbles could fall. And Greymane instead dies first. Ultralisk is also low. Diablo is still alive. And that could be a counter kill. No, instead it's Chromie that falls. Chromie and Garrosh both die. Guys, the Sidestep Kings are all of a sudden stepping up. They're not sidestepping anything here. They are just going far to the front. They have 35 stacks now. They could go core here. They don't even need the objective. Keep one on the objective and that's it. I honestly feel like we're going to see a go for the core from the red team too. But they won't be able to do anything here. Nazmaz is trying to push that out, but they just don't have the wave clear. Sidestep Kings with the big plays. Yeah, that Odin definitely paying off for them here. What a huge talent for them in these fights. Big damage from Tigers. Off we go. Core gets attacked, and there's just no way defending this. This is over. The big jump as the Punisher wants a piece of the action. They go for Nazmas, and it's the end of Blaze. Sidestep Kings with the lead in the best of 5. Nice opening into the best of 5 series. Oxygen Esports had the early advantage on the map, but the turnaround as the Sidestep Kings step up to the plate and take the victory on Infernal Shrines.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Sidestep Kings against Oxygen Esports, and we are on Tomb of the Garden Curse, as the Sidestep Kings on the left side start with Kyoja. On Urel, Ultralisk is back on his Maef. You have Khaldor on Johanna, with Hyde on Lucio and Gut Filth on Tigers. Now, pretty solid comp for them. Oxygen, on the other hand, they're playing it out with Red Robot on Tyrael. We have Banana H on Stukov, Nazmas on Diva, Madara on Abatha, and then Prismaticism on Chromie. Now, that comp is a bit out there. This is actually a really interesting setup for them. A little bit surprised. I mean, honestly, it's not really what you would think a typical Abatha composition would walk away with. So, I want to see how that plays out for them. Right now, I'm a little bit skeptical when I look at this. But time will tell if they can be successful with it right now. Double Chromie, I suppose, in the back could be a bit of a nuisance. I mean, there's a couple of ways that they can play this out. But it will be an interesting game, to say the least. Especially now the Sidestep Kings were able to turn around game number 1. Which was kind of nuts. I mean, they had, at some point, it was 0 kills to 7 or something, right? And they were able to turn it around in the late game. So, good effort by them. Big plays, and that gives them the lead in the series. And that's exactly what they need. Oxygen Esports, as I mentioned, they are 3-0 in matches as we head into this series. So now the Sidestep Kings, they have a chance to turn that around. So, now that we're moving into this one, let's see what they can pull off in game number 2. A little bit more Heroes of the Storm action on Tomb of the Garden Curse, as we're combining a couple of objectives in order to revamp the map here. And it's honestly a very early pick on the map too, because normally this is something you're seeing game 4, game 5. Very rarely do any of the Heroes of the Storm teams commit to the map this early in the setup. But yeah, we'll see. So Kyoja against Nazmas at the top. The Slug is up as well. We got the grenade build again for Tigers. And Tigers was a huge part of why the last game was successful for them. Again, Odin on Infernal Shrines is always a cool thing to have. Oh, okay, for a moment I thought they would try to move in for it. I mean, it was a bit of a bait too, of course, but that could have become real spicy if they committed to it, especially if Lucio moves in first here. He was the only one that was technically in a position where he could have reached it. There's a level 4, and they make it into In the Rhythm. Okay, In the Rhythm gets taken this time, not committing to the bigger they are, what we usually see here. Against the lineup that they are going up against, he wants to have the more sustainable minigun output. And that could actually be a pretty good choice for him too. But in order to stack this properly, if you want to stack minimap properly, what you really need is someone set up the minigun for you. So you want to have a stun or something that allows you to move in at the side of the target and then get the entire minimap duration through. That is usually the best thing that you can hope for. It's honestly, early game stacks are so important because then towards the late game you can capitalize on those and you will do well. No Needle Spine this time, we got the Adrenal Overlord. Plus the Pressurized Glance on level 1 and level 4 now. Top side, Kyoja and Nazmas are fighting this out. Down at the bottom of the map, I suppose that we're going to see Red Robot interrupted sooner rather than later. Yeah, tries to delay it a bit. Nobody else is moving in for it. Instead, they're going for camps, so that Filth. Oh, actually, just as I said, they're going for that after all. Gets 4 stacks out of it. You kind of want to have a little bit more here, but here's the overkill follow-up, and Red Robot is eating a lot of damage here. So, yep, there's that. Okay, so the minigun now on 4 stacks. Let's see. Ultralisk is trying to time this one too, and towards the top right, we get the next one taken as well. All right. Yeah, we are off to the races with this. But again, the composition makes me a bit curious for Oxygen Esports. This is not the normal Abatha setup that you would expect. Urel hates walls, so she goes straight in for it. Yeah, always destroy vision. Always take the vision out when you can. Got Filth at the top. He could have interrupted this. I'm actually surprised that they didn't interrupt D.Va here. They both had opportunities to do it. And they both just... I mean, I don't know if they just blanked on it, what happened there, but they allowed to easily Hearthstone back here. Now we got the Swift Retribution in on Tyrael. Level 7 abilities also give them the melting point. A few more stacks coming together for Tigers. Sitting at 11 now, looking for those minigun stacks. And Abath at the bottom of the map is looking for extra experience for his team. Right now, we have both of them on level 7, which actually gives us also the network carapace over here. So we're not seeing Mule taken. No Mule for Abathar. That's kind of sad. Abathar is the last hero in the game that still has Mule. Last hero. Back in the days, Tyrande, Malfurion, and plenty of others had access to it. But then it all got removed. Now instead, another seed is being fought over. So, yeah, they're starting to jump in for the defense. And Tigers, on the last minigun, he got a single stack. Again, as I said, you kind of want to have a teammate that stuns a target for you. The initial stacks are so important on the minigun. Right now, he's trailing a little bit behind. But this is a big map. Usually it takes quite a long time for a game to finish here. So he has a good chance that he will end up with a pretty solid duration on the minigun so that he can get the damage out. But he also has to play it safe at the same time too. Another 2 only. Add some mobility. You have D.Va just zipping around the entire time. You have also with Tyrael someone that can jump out onto the old ruins. And as long as nobody else makes a melee commitment, it's tough to get those stacks in. So he's a bit rough with this. But okay. Towards the top. There's a couple of hits coming out. Abathar's pushing the bot lane out and Uriel has to respond. Level 10 would be neat. The reason why Oxygen Esports wants this one, or at least delayed, is because once Sidestep Kings have 2 tributes, it means that they can dictate where the next fights take place. They can decide that they want to let a tribute go, or they can decide that they want to fight over one. Oxygen Esports will have to respond, or they are going to have to face off against the Garden Terrors, which they don't want to do. So, yeah. They give one up, therefore Oxygen Esports takes it. That was an important thing for them. So now they have a bit more wiggle room and freedom as they are hoping for level 10 to get dropped soon for them so that they can use the copy on Abathar to really make some plays here. Yeah, but at least right now, Chromie has a 10 already. As long as Sands are in, there's the heroic abilities for the blue team. Sidestep Kings must be feeling pretty good after game number 1. We have the containment disc now in. Oh my god, what? Monstrosity! That is putting an interesting twist to it. That explains the level 7 choice and the level 4 as well. So they are playing with Monty. We have Monty, ladies and gentlemen. Long time no see, baby. Welcome back. Round of applause for Monty the Monstrosity. He is back. And that is gonna be... That's a twist. Now, that gives you more global pressure. So they're using Abathar as a bit of a global pressure plate during all of those objectives now. But yeah, that's gonna be wild. Let's see if that works out. Ultralisk, yeah, the disc prevents the explosion. That's always a nice interaction. So that saves their ass for now. Of course, he's gonna try and stack Monty first and then keep him alive too. But yeah, moving from lane to lane now. That is definitely a nice setup here. And honestly, if Monty is fully stacked, that is a real powerful tool to have in your arsenal. But not going for the copy, that is still wild. That's not something that we've seen in years, honestly. So first Monstrosity is already down. There's the Falling Sword as they're jumping into the back line, looking for the kill. Yeah, quick push. As they're trying to get something done, but instead they are being pressured back. Ultralisk, careful, is eating the damage here. Jumps out with the Wall of the Warden. Nazma's at the front. And it's time for Odin, baby. Red Robot in trouble. Abathar gets the kill against Lucio, and they are missing out on the Tyrael kill. Now they're low. Still a bit of damage. Gets a grenade out, but the Sanctification is already denying another kill to the Sidestep Kings. Oxygen Esports, they get the first blood in the game and can maybe now also claim another tribute or seed, whatever you want to call it. Now towards the top, Abathar is able to pressure the lane. Has of course a good position here and is also at the same time now repositioning himself into the mid lane a bit. But yeah, that twist on 10 has made it an interesting start here. I'm curious, very, very curious here what they can do with this. Right now we have 39 stacks for Taika, so he definitely got a few additional stacks together in the last team fight. He's now also the top damage dealer for the blue team with the 14,000 that he's holding here. 18,000 for Chromie. Little dwarf always sitting in the back and just like doing some extra work with one hit after another. Neo Steel Coding is now through. Alright. But it's time for Abathur again. 5 seconds until there's the monstrosity. Again, you want to get the stacks together for this piece. Jumping to the back line. Chromie, the Chrome Star. Yeah, but she's moving out. Polished gameplay here by the Chrome Star. And now the level 13 talents should give her also... Oh, no timeout. Okay. Yeah, she actually committed to the gnome speed ahead here, which makes her very susceptible to those jumps into the back line. So they should be able to apply mad pressure onto her. They're also trying the same thing now with the rest of the damage dealers here. Monty is at the bottom of the map, by the way. The monstrosity has been reconjured. Now we got the kill against Urel. That's 2 kills already for Oxygen Esports. And they're looking for more. They might even get Ultralisk. Nope. Thanks to Hyde booping them back, D.Va couldn't get the kill. But there's the counter kill against Tyrael. Oh, explosion! And goodbye. The explosion kill. Easy Katka right here. And they're going for even more. Talking about explosion kills. Yes, there's the counter against this. Jump into the back line. And... Oh, the hit! Oh, Jojo. Yeah. Committing Sudoku right here. But yeah, look at the setup topside, how that panned out. Now the monstrosity has died again. Poor Monty has been eliminated once more, but they are still pressuring the bot lane a bit. 16 talent for her is now ready. And we have another seed on the map, and that could be the first objective pushing in. Yeah, we could actually see the thingies, the plant thingies, in the next one. What are they called? What's the normal name? Garden terrors, exactly. Yeah, terrifying garden. Yeah, all those garden terrors. Ooh. Yeah, usually what terrorizes the garden is a mole, for example. Hyde is trying to go for another interrupt and eats a ton of damage because of it. Another one thanks to the grenade. And Ultralisk, they found him. And there we go. There's a big push. Ultralisk on the move. There's a chance to make the play towards the top, but Iron Skin has been used by Cattle. Yeah, he can be crushed earlier. And the monstrosity is going to be back up in another 14 seconds. So far, we haven't really seen any monstrosity value. I mean, I'm a fan that Monty is back, don't get me wrong. But we haven't really seen any value for Monty. Soma Transference still as the level 13 talent, so that gives you more sustain. Also, not a ton of stacks on Tychus either, so he's sitting at 49,000 right now. But yeah, Urel is trying to push the top a bit. Abathur Symbiote is counterplaying that. Good experience for Oxygen Esports. I mean, again, you look at the experience board, and Abathur with 14k is leading the charge here. That's a neat move. Oh, Blessed Shield. No, what was... Oh, the disc didn't connect. For just a second, I was like, wait a second, Blessed Shield? I've seen her jump around. That was a falling sword. I was like, ah, alright. Maiev was there too. So yeah, Maiev missed the shield. They still get the camp, so there's that. And that's another seed on the map now. Level 16 talents for both of them at this point. And Monty could be set up at the top lane again, and that's exactly what Abathur is doing. Monty is back to business. There's the jump onto Chromie. And unfortunate. Johanna with no value. Sanctification has been used. That's another cooldown that got burnt. Abathur needs to be careful with Monty. If Monty pressures into the fort again, then the fort is going to take him down. And he already starts to control that. All eyes on Monty, baby. But it's 4 kills against 1, and Oxygen Esports have taken a slight lead in experience and in kills. The objective could turn all of that around. So could Monty, though, if eventually the monstrosity is taken down. Yeah, Monty gets attacked. Gonna keep an eye on the monstrosity and see if Abathur can keep her alive. Right now, it doesn't seem like it. And here come the stacks against Urel. Urel in trouble. Kyojak popping the ult. And they're going for the potential kill against the... this guy. Against D.Va. No. Monstrosity is still alive, but not for much longer. And Abathur is able to cape her and play. Moves to the top. This time we're going to see more stacks, and that's what we've been waiting for the entire time. Down here the fight continues, and Abathur will have to help out. Once more the disc being used to negate the bomb damage. But Ultralisk has to jump out, and everybody else is low too, so the entire 5-man for the blue team is rushing away here. Cattle is getting attacked too. Hyde is trying to boop them back again, but they are now going for the channel, and Ultralisk comes in for the interrupt. Topside still pushing. Monstrosity has been moved back pretty far. That's good for them. Can recover and regenerate. Tyrael is nearly down, so is Ultralisk. Everybody is just eating tons of damage right now in the attempt to get the first objective. And the Monstrosity is back to business, and with more and more stacks coming in, that could be a problem for the top lane. Urel is dead too, so they need to deal with this. Yeah, Monty is moving back in, accumulating a few more stacks. Yeah, but gets also attacked by both of the turrets right away, and that's the end of it. Yeah, Monstrosity is dead once again, not doing a whole lot of work. Here comes Cattle into the back, pops the Iron Skin as he lands. Sanctification is out for the second time in this fight, and they're still turning. The battle just doesn't stop at all. Another disc is also being committed to the fight. Cattle is a bit slow here, shifting through the sands, and Banana H gets the channel. There it is, and that is the first Garden Terror for Oxygen Esports. We had set up for them, but it's working. Top side, we also have a fort destroyed thanks to Monty, so there's that. And the Garden Terror is actually arriving very, very far forward towards the keep, so they have to keep someone on the lane. Tychus and Urel are trying to deal with that, which means Abathar has full control over the bottom of the map. In the middle, we're also having another big attack coming in against the fort here, and the Symbiote is helping Nazmas out too. Top side, they are opening up the gate towards the keep. Still a level lead for the blue team, for the red team. And now we even have the Blessing of the Bronze right here for Chromie. So she's helping the team out in the middle as they're pushing even more aggressively. Bot lane, Abathar is about to take another fort for them. They are starting to snowball hard. That momentum is shifting everything. Taking the structures down, really making the plays for them now. And bot lane fort is destroyed. Well done. Alright, good job here. That's 3 forts down. Not only mixed up with 3 doors down, that's something different. Iron Skin has been used now too. And, well, that's a cooldown that doesn't really matter in that situation too much. So, they're still Gucci. But that was a pretty neat one. 97 stacks also for Tychus, so there is. And currently, we're looking at the 53,000 for Chromie in terms of the damage. 48k for Tychus. And that puts him into the top damage numbers for the team. Only one that hasn't died for the blue team is Maiev. And they only got a single kill. I mean, they dropped the mech a few times, but it's all that they really got here. Push through the middle. Half a level missing until 20. So, yeah, it's gonna be a bit tough. Now, there's tons and tons of camps on this map, so if you control the mercenaries, you can really apply lane pressure. And that's how the Sidestep Kings are apparently planning to push these lanes back out, and it's probably the smartest move that they can make. They also need the experience and try to close the gap so that they hit level 20 at roughly the same time, or at least before the next objective becomes a problem. The one thing that works in their favor is that there's no more seats in the hands of Oxygen Esports, so they can literally just like let 1 or 2 slide before they have to face the fight again. But with this 20 talent and the push at the top, they are of course now attempting to go straight in for the keep. So making the play here. Abathar could pop the Monstrosity again. Yeah, and well, with Odin they should be able to defend here. D.Va comes in with the defense matrix. Urel is pushing the bot lane too. She's trying to get some extra experience to help the team to get the Storm talent, and they're desperately clinging to the keep. There's a jump back out. Cattle was in trouble for just a moment. This fort is gonna be gone, so that's at least one structure destroyed. And the play at the top lane is still continuing. Urel is getting some extra experience in the middle of the map in the attempt to finally get the next level for them. But yep, they are still looking good. Fort is down. Urel starts to rotate again, is coming down to the bot lane for the last bit of XP, and they save the top keep. So all is good, at least for now. And we get the Hive Mind, there's a cooldown reduction on the Falling Sword for Jojo, and we also have Tychus with the big red button. So they pretty much have their level 20 power spike ready for the next team fight. I guess this one they're gonna let slide. Yep, 1 seat over. There's no real reason to fight for this, honestly. I explained it earlier. You already have 2 tributes. Your opponent is just going to grab the 1, and they would have had to rush into the position, and you don't want to do that against an opponent that probably set up a trap or 2 against you. So yeah. Monstrosity. The thing with the Monstrosity is you always have to push it back behind the minion wave again. It's a little bit faster than the minions, as you can see. So if you just let it to its own devices on lane, then it will move in front of the minions and will take all the damage from the incoming minion wave. So this is exactly what we're seeing here. It gets attacked first, so Abathar has to move it back all the time. Let it move back in. And that will allow you then slowly gain those stacks that the Monstrosity becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And then eventually it's going to be a real big tool that you can even use in teamfights, technically speaking. So that's something that they can definitely use. But, yep, there's the reaction. The Sidestep Kings are coming in, and they're going to try and take it down. Was attempting to burrow it away. That didn't work, so Monstrosity is gone, and that's another 90-second cooldown burn. If you can stack it fully, it's a really cool tool to have, but if you can't pay attention to it during a fight, then it will die to towers or minion waves, and yeah, it's just a bit of an annoying setup, so you really need to take care of it. It's a little bit like the Tamagotchis of old. Pretty much the same thing. Don't take care of it, it dies, but if you can grow it, then it becomes strong and powerful. As those Web Weavers, Garden Terrors, that are now moving onto lane and could allow the Sidestep Kings to turn it around again. I mean, it's pretty much what we're seeing here. So, yep, you are seeing another potential comeback for the Sidestep Kings after they already pulled that one off on map number 1. It could happen on map number 2. Yeah, there's the explosion. That does some work, but not enough. And they are moving through the middle in the hopes to grab a kill here. The top is going to get attacked too, and Abathur needs to be careful or he's going to be in trouble eventually. Bot lane gets pressure. That's probably more of a concern for them right now. It would be insane if the Sidestep Kings make it happen again and take a 2-0 lead here. That would be absolutely nuts. Bot lane, yeah, this one, the keep is definitely going to suffer some damage if this continues. Up at the top, hide, he gets away. Abathur, oh, the slug, yeah, it's a kill. Lucio is dead, but there's a kill against Maiev. So that's a 2-for-1 trade right now. And the bot lane is still pressuring. Nobody on the red team is taking care of this. And if this is led to its own devices, the keep will take damage. I don't think they can take it down. I don't think that the catapult that is there is enough to really claim the entire thing. But still, it will be damage. Abathur is dead, has the Monstrosity back up, by the way. Monstrosity so far in the game hasn't really gotten a whole lot of value. They did a bit at the top lane. Monstrosity was partly responsible for the fort that has fallen at the top side. Outside of that, not a lot. Talking about structures falling, this keep is a goner. And as we're talking about destroyed keeps, this one at the bottom of the map, I mean, it's going to be close. That catapult is going to get another 1 or 2 hits off. I don't think that the keep will fall. It's going to be clutch, though. And it survives. It doesn't have a lot of hit points left, but it's still in there. Next minion wave could technically take it. We still have the defense at the top, and Oxygen Esports, they of course want to make sure that they're winning this time. Last map must have been really frustrating for them. It's kind of crazy if you think about it, by the way. Tychus is only at 101 stack. He had a few more opportunities during team fights to get stacks together, but the last time that I mentioned him, I think he was at 93, so it means he more or less got no real minigun duration through in the team fight itself. So, yeah, now's the problem. Disc is out again. Jump into the back. They're going for Banana H and for Chromie. Monstrosity is at the bottom of the map again. Like, attack against Maiev. And careful, baby. This is if you lose the fight, then it's over. Honestly, if you 5-man wipe, either team would win the game. With the bot keep this low and the top keep gone on the blue team side, both teams have a chance to go for the core. So, once again, there's the plays. 3 kills to 7. They're going for the next camp. They're utilizing the big red button here. And it feels like Oxygen Esports is actually considering fighting into it. And indeed they do. They use the explosion to zone them out. And they steal it away. Steal it away. Easy peasy. Monstrosity is still fighting hard right there. But yep, there it is. Push through the middle now in the attempt to take another keep down. Yeah, still looking for kills. Another disc is out already. Off we go. Ultralis coming in against Stukov. And they're trying to get the kill against the support. But the medallion gets used again. There it is. Bot lane pressure through the Monstrosity. Abathur finally getting the global value out of his ult. Tyrael is down though, so that's a problem. And we have another seed popping up on the map. But catapults are also starting to go for the core up at the top and have to be dealt with. Monstrosity still in play, trying to save it. And Abathur is able to keep it alive. That's actually very, very important. Keeping that alive right now is huge. That will help you a lot. So bot lane at least is not falling. Mid lane has taken a lot of damage. Monstrosity has been moved all the way back to the core so that it gets healed up. And then it's going to push through the top lane again. As I explained earlier, you want to get the stacks in. You always want to move it back and then let it push the lanes once more. Double seed now in the hands of Oxygen Esports. One more would call down the Garden Terrors again. So Sidestep Kings, they are with their back to the wall, which is pretty much where they want to be. This is where they were the last time, and it worked out incredibly well for them. So if they're going to go for another comeback setup, then it's going to happen here. Urel is apparently going to try and deal with the monstrosity at the top, trying to take this one down. That would be, honestly, a huge win. If she can take the monstrosity down, that would be big. And Abathur misses this completely. Yeah, Kyoja doesn't hesitate. He takes it down. So the monstrosity is destroyed again. As I said, not a lot of value through the ult throughout the entire game. I honestly think. I mean, I guess with the combo, I don't know. Symbiote in those team fights is doing the thing. Who would you copy? But yeah, Abathur is helping them in the team fights quite a bit, but the monstrosity itself doesn't get a lot. 84,000 hero damage, by the way, through D.Va by now. So she is easily second highest damage in the game, whereas Tychus with the 90,000 that he's able to accumulate here is looking quite strong too. We are now 23 minutes in and both of the teams are way past the Storm Talons, but this is a chance for Oxygen Esports to lock in another objective for themselves. And it comes down to another team fight. Down here, Ultralisk is already looking for an opportunity to jump in again for the fight. They're already trying to make the play here. Off we go. Backline. That's always where especially Johanna wants to jump. So Catalyst getting ready for it. Big red button has already been used. They're trying to lock them into the backline. Sanctification gets immediately popped. And there's the explosion again. They're zoning them away. They were waiting for the engage. Jojo's cooldown has been reduced significantly, of course, as Cattle invested into the 20 upgrade, and he can use it in just another couple of seconds. Top lane is getting pushed, so this fight is on a bit of a timer. They're trying to go for Tyrael, trying to push them out, and that's exactly why the disc is missing. This doesn't connect. They're still trying to go for Nazmas, though, but the top lane, that honestly worries me. Looking at that mini-map, that could be a huge problem. Alright, Meg is down. Uh-oh, Stukov. Stukov! Can they get him? Nah, there's the ult from Lucio. He gets the sound barrier out. But a nice move with the holy ground. And Lucio is dead. Lucio is dead and the top lane is pushing. And this could be Winion territory right now. They only have to prevent them from moving back. There's one interrupt. And over here, Filth comes back and the core is starting to fall. Triple catapult on the core. 73%. We had 69. 67, and the monstrosity is likely going to fall too, and that's not the worst of it. Thanks to all of this, the seed was claimed by the red team, so all of a sudden Oxygen Esports, they not only dropped the core down by 33%, they're now also moving in for the kill. They want to take this. They're coming in through the middle, through the bottom, and they want to go for core here, and who's going to stop them? I mean, they're attacking it already, dropping the remaining few shields, and that should be game. Yeah, with the keep in the middle now also gone, there's just no way. They just come out and prevents the worst from happening in the second, but you can't delay it forever. That's a kill, that's a win, and that's a tie in the series as Oxygen Esports wins Tomb of the Garden Curse against the Sidestep Kings in our best of 5. Game number 3, and Oxygen Esports, well, they went for a wild draft on the last one with Monty, and now apparently they thought that they would go full Wild Heart Esports in our third game, of this Heroes of the Storm series right here. So over on the left side, we got Ultralisk. It's hammer time with Kyoja on D.Va, Cattle on Varian, got Filth on Tychus, and Hyde is playing Stukov. But then you look over to what the red team is playing, and well, Red Robot is on Garrosh. We're used to that. Nazmas, on the other hand, with the Lost Vikings. We got Madara on Abathur, Prismaticism on Orphea, and Banana H on Lucio. So, yep, that got wild quickly. We got the Vikings in game, ladies and gentlemen, and that's gonna be a fun one. Level 1 already, Olaf the Stout. We got the grenade build again. Also got the advanced artillery over here, as Banana H at the bottom of the map is rushing around with Lucio with a bit of support through Abathur. Cattle finds himself the immediate center of attention. It's good for Varian's ego. And there we go. So it's kind of crazy, honestly. They went fully wild with that particular draft here. Game number 2 kind of worked. I kind of still want to say that they won the game despite the monstrosity pick and not because of it. Really felt that they didn't do as much as they could have maybe accomplished with it. I have to point the top 4 out that they destroyed, but yeah. But over here, they are going deep. That grenade kind of tickled him a little bit. Red Robot nearly died because of it, but is still able to survive, so that's good for him. And now, of course, the question of whether or not he can win this map with the Vikings. It's kind of strange. If the Vikings come through, and you normally expect HeroesHearth to play them. I mean, it's not part of this game here, but it's kind of interesting that Oxygen Esports is going for that setup. They're getting pressured hard with the Ultralisk lineup down at the bottom of the map, so it's a lot of auto attacks that are going to come through with not only Tigers, but I mean, it's pretty much the StarCraft team, right? So we're going pretty hard on the StarCraft characters on their side, at least when it comes to damage dealers. And that's something that we could observe through all of those games already. But it is time to see if the Vikings can take it. Now with the Vikings setup, you usually have exactly... normally you honestly have Balog solo. And then you have a lineup with Olaf plus the Doctor, the Professor Eric, for a little bit of damage. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, he's rotating around a little bit. Because Balog is just in a position where he can easily hold a lane on his own, and he has a wave clear too, so he can even push it out if he wanted to, instead of just soaking the experience. So now they're moving with Eric into the middle and apply some pressure onto D.Va, successfully I might add. Having that Abathar available for the symbiote helps you a lot with that too. And in we go. We got Eric the Swift on level 4. We also have In the Rhythm, but on top of that, it's now time for the Siege Tactics and the Taunt. So there's that. And they're sieging up on the bot lane. That's one of the ways how you oftentimes see teams trying to counteract any kind of Viking or Abathar composition by heavily pressuring in the early game and trying to take the opponent down super quickly there. If you can then get an advantage by claiming structures, that is always a really, really good start here. There's a flip though, and that is not a good start. That's a problem. That's a problem for Cattle, and he makes it out, but still clutch. Good damage from Ultralisk regardless, as he's just hitting one auto attack after another, connecting those right clicks like a boss. Landing one right kill after another. Yeah, full on boss mode for him. Oh yeah. So instead we now have, of course, the altars up. And that's where the top lane is going to become interesting. Because with the Vikings, you'll be able to just like zone that out the entire time. It would be very surprising if D.Va could easily take that altar. There should always be at least Eric around to take it. So the bottom fight is going to be the important one. But the blue team should be able to take that. The Vikings are not going to participate in this fight too much. Abathar is helping out with the symbiote, but there's only 3 hit point pools that they can rely on. So, yep, this one is taken. Hyde locks it in, shots are fired, and that means that you can now rotate another hero towards the top left to help out D.Va to claim it. They're not even making a play for that. Instead, they're trying to go for a bell tower conversion. And Nazmas is trying to channel that through. Is moving back though. Didn't go for that either. So, yeah, they're still making the play for D.Va instead. But down here at the bottom of the map, now that the Mule gets getting dropped on level 7, they should at least try to take that one down. And Mule is, of course, insane in that situation. It helps you to delay this even further. That's the reason why he gets targeted right away. You want to keep that in play as long as you can. There's the taunt against Red Robot. He even tried to flip Varian back over into the altar range, the bell tower range. Couldn't really make that work. D.Va's mech is lost. And another channel at the top left now from Nazmas. Has to interrupt it again and moves away. So they're reclaiming the bell tower down here. And that's exactly the power play that we've talked about at the beginning of the game. You go up against the Viking composition, you go up against an Abathar composition. If you have the tools in your arsenal, push the opponent. Sylvanas Greymane is a great combo when you find yourself in a spot like this. But over here, it is really the plays with the Hover Siege mode on the hammer that they are playing out now. And, well, Schoolgirl dies, so they go for Fear. And our little coffin girl here is biting the dust, so that's a good kill. Vikings are still holding on to the mid and the top lane, but it's starting to become a bit nasty. Because here's another quick taunt. Good flip. Cattle, can he stay alive? Yeah, he can. But here come the pumpkins. 1, 2, and that's a third one that connects as well. All 3 coming in, 33 against 36 points. D.Va at the top gets still attacked. Pilot has to jump out. Explosion doesn't do anything, and Nazmas wants the channel. They have to eventually deal with this. So Nazmas just always checking this out. They're never really committing. They're happy to just delay this game for as long as they can. They know that their value is in the late game. Oxygen Esports, they know their value is in the late game setup, So they're not making any plays for it. It's also one of the reasons why the Sidestep Kings are currently not sending anybody over again. They want to continue to apply the pressure here, so they can't really afford to send someone to the top left to help D.Va out, or they're going to lose the bot lane control again, which would potentially allow Oxygen Esports to reclaim the bell tower. So they're just playing around the mercenary camps right now. They want to go for the pumpkins and get the core slowly whittled down like that. But if you don't take the altar, you're just simply delaying the game. The game is going to be heavily delayed. There's no new altars that are going to spawn, and that is something that Oxygen Esports is very interested in right now. So here's another attempt for the play. Oh, nearly a kill against a robot, but the BFG did not connect. Push into the wall, and off they go, trying to drop Banana Age. Another pumpkin connects. There's number 2, number 3, and boom. They're down to 30 against 36. So they're slowly but steadily really taking the position here. Level 10 abilities are now in for both. And again, Monty! Monstrosity on this map feels very, very weird to me, because it's... I mean, it's a big map in the sense that you have a huge distance to cover between lanes and from top to bottom, but the lanes are very, very short if you look at this. Like, this is not a whole lot of a distance to cover, and monstrosities need a lot of space in order to get value, because they need to take those minions down. So, if you felt that Abathar lacked a little bit with his babysitting capabilities in game number 2, and that his Tamagotchi would have died after just an hour or 2, I feel this is going to be even harder for him. He needs to keep constant eye on the monstrosity to get the full potential unleashed. So it's going to be tough. Pressure play at the top side now. So they're going to go for it. Camps still the focus for the Sidestep Kings. It seems like the Sidestep Kings have just said, guys, we're going to win this by controlling the bot lane and just controlling every single camp that we can get here. And I don't think that in the long run that's going to work for them. Eventually they have to switch it up a little bit. So right now, get the next 3 of the pumpkins connected, but now that they're also realizing that they're facing off against Vikings at the bottom of the map, and that the top side has been claimed, it's a 4 versus 4 bell tower spot. And they have to make some plays for altars as well. 1, 2, 3 shots fired. There we go. That's, by the way, now 9 shots fired through pumpkins alone. D.Va wants to take back the top lane now. But it's a really wild one. And they let the boss slide too. So, it's kind of out there. Just for fun, yesterday we were actually talking a little bit about maps that you can win by never taking the objective. And technically speaking, you can win Towers of Doom by never ever channeling an altar. Simply by either grabbing all of the bell towers and starting the barrage, or by controlling the pumpkin camps time and time again. But it will take you an eternity. And I don't think that is a feasible playstyle for the Sidestep Kings in the long run. And I really wonder when a team is going to make a commitment over here. Monstrosity at the top is now about to take this down. Abathar is saving it again and pushing it back. So, yeah, this is a bit of a better micromanagement on the Monstrosity than we've seen in the previous one. Now, Kyojo was apparently starting to channel this one, and they're sending Eric in. Are they going to use him for that, though? That's the bigger question. We have them, by the way, with the Nordic attack squad over here. Alright, so want to keep the Vikings a bit closer together. Shots are fired. Another couple of shots thanks to the pumpkins over here. 24 to 28. It's an interesting game. It's definitely an interesting style of playing Towers of Doom. We have seen very few fights. Look at the damage output. Vikings with the top hero damage right now. So there's not really a lot of fighting going on, at least up to this point. Only a single kill has come through now. And yep, they're starting to look for a few more fights, as the hammer is holding down the bottom bell tower, which they are still controlling here. Chinese bush trap setup right here. It's a trap. There's the flip. Candle, is he going to go for the taunt, or they try to turn it? Ultralisk is in range and can start to shoot away, and Odinus get used too. They're going for the Vikings. Vikings with the Nordic attack squad. They want to fight here, but one is taken down. Another one is going to fall. Olaf is dead. And down here, they of course have an interest to take this back, but now the Monstrosity is going to get taken down any second. And there's that. It's actually a weird one. I mean, technically speaking, if you have the Slug also attacking in the fight, it's an 8 versus 5. You have 3 Vikings and a Monstrosity. If Abathar would come into the team fight too and start to slap around a little bit, then it would be an 8 versus 5 fight. It's about as good as it gets. I guess you can get Rexa also in it, and if you commit to Chen and the Triple Panda, you can even, yeah, pad the numbers a little bit more. But yeah, there we go. So 1 down, 2 down, another 3 connected. It's kind of thick. It's actually sick if you think about it. It's insane how much they are getting out of this. Khaldor. Ooh, that's a kill. Maybe. Yeah. No. 100 hit points and he survives. 21 points against 28, and we've only seen the first altar phase. Yeah, there's the double altar now up on the map, so now they can go for it. Hammer is apparently channeling the one at the bottom. Yeah, careful little slugger. Madara. Oh, he's dead. He's dead. No. Yep. No. There we go. The slug is down, but so is Tychus. They exchanged altars. No, they didn't. They only got one. Okay, the other one is still up. And now Varian is coming into the middle. Can he still get there in time to interrupt again? Doesn't seem like it. No, the BFG interrupted. Nice. Another taunt is out. They take down Olaf. Or at least they try to. Yeah, but there it is. By now we have also a 16, so the Largen in charge is in. Yeah, 17 to 28 points. Level 16 talents are ready for Oxygen Esports, but they still don't have Abathur back, so that's a problem. Channel attempt again. Diva, careful. Stukov is there too. Okay, they're all moving in. 16 for both teams now, and that gives us the Giant Killer. And that's fucking fantastic for Sergeant Hammer. It's gonna be great for those auto attacks. Lock those in time and time again. 4 shots are fired, and that's 13 points to 28. What a weird game. What a weird setup. Kyoja! And he's dead, but so is Garrosh. Garrosh is down, Kyoja is dead too. They're exchanging kills again. And another quick one against Belok. And now, of course, the one cool thing that you have, every single time that you take one of the Vikings down, you're pretty much denying the level 13 talent. So the Nordic attack squad is not getting any value when you're killing one of the Vikings off. So in those team fights, you really want to drop one of them as quickly as you can, because it shuts that down. That extra damage is not going to be a problem anymore. And the Vikings are currently the top damage dealers for them, together with Ophia. Both of them are 36,000. More pumpkins are making it through the bot lane now. Monty is pushing the mid lane. The top bell tower is still not being reconverted. Nobody could go for that. So, yeah, it's a wild setup. It's a very wild setup. Yep, 1 pumpkin through. Number 2. Number 3. Ophia is dead as well. Quick hits coming. Ultralis using his siege tactics. There's the taunt. That could be a kill, and it is. Hyde is down, but they get Banana Age. Beautiful BFG. Nicely done by Ultralis. That was a sexy one. 11 to 28. That's where we're at right now. Boss is back up, and we got a double altar on the map. But there's also another camp that they can take, and they go for it immediately. So, yep, that's a wild one. Alright, down here. They seem to be trying to go for another kill, and they get it. Garrosh eats the grenade. I mean, he literally just ate it. That thing was shot straight into his mouth. And that was a bit too much for him to handle. So, here comes the monstrosity again. Looking for Cattle committing hard to it. Yeah, they want to take that down and make sure that it never really gets fully stacked. And there's another 3 shots fired. That's single digits now. Single digits as we have the shots coming through. Up at the top, 1 gets channeled here, 1 over here. Belok is down, shots fired, 8 points, and boom, that drops them down to 4, which means that the boss could technically end the game. They could go boss now. If they felt comfortable enough, they could go for the boss. Garrosh is still dead. So, Oxygen Esports, again, the comp is wild that they're trying here, and I don't really know what the game plan was to begin with. It really feels that this is just a bit off, and now that they're losing hero after hero, it seems like this is going to be the end of the game. Beautiful save from Lucio, but still, Ophia dies. They get the counter kill against Stukov on the other hand, so that one is actually huge. Garrosh is still not here yet. Once that he makes an appearance, that could just be a way for him to turn this around for the team. But it's still a wild spot on the map. And the experience lead also goes over to the Sidestep Kings. Where's Hammer, by the way, on damage? I haven't even checked. 64,000 for her right now. Getting Giant Killer there is, of course, massive as well. Boss is a problem because it could end the game, so someone on Oxygen Esports side has to keep an eye on it. I suppose that at least for a time they're going to keep a Viking close by to every now and then double check what's happening. Now another pumpkin camp gets taken too. And yeah, that's a bit rough. That bot lane. Yeah, that's also where the next altar spawns. So once that the altar is up, there's going to be 2 points on the map that could end the game immediately. Either you take the altar, or you take the boss at the top. And there's the announcement. Altar gets announced. Hammer. Oxygen Esports, they need a kill. They need a kill or the Sidestep Kings are very likely pulling ahead again in the series. And off we go. Another camp is moving in. That would drop the core down to 1 point, and they're letting the slide. They don't care. They're saying, like, doesn't matter. The channel is going to end the game one way or another. Let those pumpkins come through. It doesn't matter to us if you have 4 points on the core or if you have 1. But here comes the attack. And, oh my god, Garrosh, he makes it out. But that BFG nearly killed him. Banana H over and over again with these clutch sound barriers that allow him to keep the boys and girls alive. There's no monstrosity in the fight. There's no avatar copy. And here comes the battle. Stukov again with a lurking arm setup. And Ultralisk is doing so much work here. 1 Viking down, level 13 talent value negated now. Totally denied. They're taking all of them. Here comes the ult as they're committing to it again. But there's also the explosion for... Oh my god! Diva and Garrosh nearly fell. Another Viking down. Again, no level 13 value. And here they come in, trying to drop everybody in the back line. It's not only Olaf that... well, Olaf the only one that still died here towards the end. Eric died too. Belog is still alive, but just look how low their hit points are. And there's the channel on Stukov. Hyde gets it through. Garrosh is dead, and that is game. Insanely weird composition for Oxygen Esports, and it allows Sidestep Kings to take a win on the map and take the lead in the best of 5 series. Big win for the blue team, but yeah, very, very awkward game. Oxygen Esports going full Wild Heart Esports in this one. Game number 4. Let's go, everybody. Battlefield of Eternity. More Heroes of the Storm. More action with the Sidestep Kings against Oxygen Esports on Battlefield. And a 2-1 lead for the Sidestep Kings. Yep, they want the next match win. And that would be the first match loss for Oxygen Esports. Bit of a wild draft for them. Vikings and Monstrosity Abathur on the last match, so that was definitely out there. Did not work out for them. The sieged up hammer composition really worked well. As I said, against Vikings in particular, if you have a Sylvanas Greymane setup, for example, or Sergeant Hammer, anything that can push lanes really hard, that's where those heroes start to struggle a lot. Left side of the map now, we got the blue team with Kyojan Urel, Khaldor on Unubarak, Ultralisk on Liming, got Filth on Tychus and Hyde on Lucio, whereas on the right side of the map, Red Robot on ETC, Madarauchia on Hanzo, Banana H on Rhaegar, Prismaticism on Cassia, and Nazmas is playing Diva. Our top lane with the Diva Urel setup. Down here, we got our traditional 4-man, and Cattle, he likes his buck, he likes the beetle. And there we go. Hyde comes in too. They're trying to make a play for the Red Robot. And Hyde, bit low here, but he gets away. And it seems like ETC is not going to get away just now. ETC is dead. Easy kill over here. Well done. And that opens the map up a bit for them. So yeah, good job by the boys and girls here. We also have no stacks this time for Cassia, so we're going in with the charged strikes. Still stacking for ETC, I might add, so they're going into the Globe quest on level 1. I mean, oftentimes you'll still see a team head into maybe more of a block talent on ETC when they're approaching Battlefield of Eternity. But right now, the dive onto the camp at the bottom of the map, solo lane. Some of the heroes are starting to make the rotation down to the bottom of the map to check out what's happening here. But the camp gets claimed by Oxygen Esports. So a nice little win for them at the bot lane after they suffered the initial hero death. Liming and Tychus, more so for the... I mean, honestly, the two of them do really well when it comes to sniping heroes after good stun setups. Liming is great for these stalemates on the map where she can just siege up on an opponent's Immortal. But when it comes to just really extra damage on the Immortal itself, then having the setup with Hanzo is quite beneficial for the team in red. So they have a lot of good damage output here, especially with Rhaegar also coming in the lightning shield, and they're using that already to take the camp at the top too. So if they get both of the camps, that would be fantastic. Kyoja is already insanely low. Yeah, and they're not even trying to go for it here. Nope, both of the camps get claimed. That's a pretty neat start for Oxygen Esports. That's about as good as it gets. Now, they didn't get a kill, of course, but still, both of the camps taken by them. Bit of an experience gain through that, the early level 4. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. Got the healing totem in after we saw the colossal totem first. Now we also have Triumvirate for Liming. Bit of a very heavy setup into the shield here. into the plating from Anubarak with the Nubrian armor and the Shed exoskeleton. The bigger they are for Taika, so they're trying to try and burn the front line down very aggressively once again. And it's objective time. Time for the Immortal. Let's go and see which team is going to take the first objective. And therefore, potentially, the lead in all of this. Yeah, it's time to party a little bit here. Another 8 seconds. Blue team is doing the same thing, so they're also claiming their camp here. Not really huge. I mean, again, leading experience, I was just thinking maybe they can even get a level 7 at some point if it's stalled out a lot. But I don't really think so. At least if they get it, it won't be a big advantage that will give them a huge time frame that they can operate within. But Hyde nearly dies as he is sliding into 3 attackers and nearly gets dropped here. So that's a lot of good damage. Top side, Urel has pushed out a wave that allows the Shaman camp to directly attack the wall. That's a really good setup early on for Oxygen. They're looking. They're also looking at potentially 2 kills. They take the first one and take Tigers down. At the bottom of the map, it should be an easy defense against the Shaman camp too. And that's a really good setup. Winning the halftime show, bit of damage done over here. The towers defended against the Shaman camp then again. So that was a bit unfortunate. But just look how Tigers is starting to melt this thing away. First objective is looking like a total disaster for Oxygen Esports. They are for sure in trouble now. Yep, there's the attack, and that's 100% shield, everybody. I mean, literally 100%. They didn't do a single, damage point even against the Immortal. That's the best possible outcome for objective number 1. Outside of you getting kills with all of this. And then this happens. No! Prismaticism! The brain fart. Too far out, gets jumped on, dies, and now they are playing a 4 versus 5 with a push. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Yeah, he got greedy, way too greedy, honestly. Shouldn't make a play like this, and now they're of course still trying to get damage in, and they do. If they get the kill against Cattle, that would be fantastic. Red Robo tries, but he can't quite. Level 7 talents are finally available for both sides. Gives us, by the way, Echo Paddle. That's usually what you go for if you're trying to play on the side lane and go into stage dive, but I don't really think that's happening here. There's the kill against Lucio, though. They might still be able to get that fort. Maybe they still have an opportunity. Come in again, and yes, now they can claim it. It looked a bit grim initially after Cassia fell, but they are able to take the structure down after all, and they immediately also push onto the next camp at the top. Yeah, nice advantage. Half a level ahead. 2 kills to 2. Level 7 talents didn't really give us any big surprises or anything. It's time to fill up that mana pool. Well, the only surprise, as I said, is maybe the Echo Paddle. So if you're talking Echo Paddle, that's something that you don't really see every day. Back in the days of HGC, it was always the determination of whether or not you're going into a stage dive or mosh pit that you would decide if you want Echo Paddle, so you have more damage output on the minion wave and can therefore side lane properly. These days, we don't see that decision being made all that often anymore. With new heroes being added and patches coming out, the entire meta, of course, has changed significantly. Li Ming has her Calamity as usual, but with an early level 10, I mean, they might just be able to do a little bit of work here. In the sense of, if you get your level 10, maybe you can push for structure, maybe you can make a bit of a play there and see if you can get even farther ahead. Right now, not quite the case, but again, time will tell how they're going to play this one out. And as I say that, Red Robot comes in and they're making a play for Cattle. That's the burrow charge and can get out, so good for him. Urel is still holding the top, and any moment now we're going to see the level 10. And we've seen a lot of Hanzo arrows into a Valkyrie on Cassia lately. So it's a pretty cool comp if you can land it. I mean, Madara on Hanzo, he doesn't have any problems with ping delay because he's an NA player. So that would be kind of neat for them. It's not like we're going to see any kind of like interrupts on that end. So they go into the arrow. I would expect Valkyrie in this setup because, again, if you want to go for those... I mean, it's pretty much like a fishing combo. It's a little bit you're trying to go for a budget Stitches. So instead of having a Stitches on your side... God, I haven't seen that hero in ages, like damn. But yeah, instead of having that, you're just simply using 2 ults in order to get a guaranteed hook that you can then translate into a kill. There's the Cocoon also. That's actually one of the cool things for the Sidestep Kings. They got Li Ming and Anubarak on the same team, which means that Li Ming can't counterplay the Cocoon. The Ball of Lightning gets taken. No balls over here. So the arrow is still connecting. And now Kyoja, yeah, he gets out. He gets out there right away, so good for him. Yeah, lately, oh, but wait a second. Next objective gets burned down again. Sidestep Kings, a little bit low. Here's the play at the top, and they're going for a noob. The cocoon is already out, and with Odin, they can zone them away. So they're pushing them back easily. But here we go. Kyoja's getting ready for this. Still the push with Ultralisk. He's poking away against the Immortal. But now that Odin is about to expire, they could re-engage into the fight, and I think that's what's going to happen pretty soon. Ultralisk is still getting decent damage at the side. Just one combo after another against the Immortal, but the problem is that Hanzo is chunking away hard against the hit point pool. And that's a big deal right now. Hanzo is just such a monster when it comes to that with the extra damage. The level 4 talent is supposed to get... And he actually goes stage dive. He goes stage dive. I talked about it. Echo Paddle. He actually commits to it. Alright. So we're going to see him on the side lane a bit. There's a quick Ancestral. Was afraid that Cassia would get stuck in the Immortal stun. But Hanzo should be able to lock this in for the team now. We have a stage dive. There's the arrow. And Li Ming is dead. Li Ming is down and the Immortal is taken. I want to highlight something real quickly because some people have been talking about this lately, that they're saying like, hey, Kyoja or other Korean players are just making a lot of mistakes, and I really want to emphasize that they are playing with a massive ping disadvantage compared to other players. If you want to see them on their actual server, there is a Heroes of the Storm tournament that I casted recently that took place completely on the Korean server with Korean and Chinese teams. There is a playlist on Khaldor TV on YouTube, so you should check that one out. It's listed on the main page as well, if you really want to see how the players are currently playing in their home environment, their home server with decent ping. It's really a big difference sometimes. So a few of the plays at least can be explained through that. So can only recommend, check out the playlist of the Korean tournament. It's listed on the YouTube front page, and yeah, there was some crazy games over there too, and also some insane plays on the individual level. Cocoon is out, they're trying to force the fight past them. Fort is down, so that's the second fort that fell. Oxygen Esports with the more normal composition is doing incredibly well. Oh, can you imagine a mosh pit here? That would have been insane. But they're still going for the fight. The arrow, he walked into it. No, Ultralisk. Oh, and he tried to blink away and blinked into the wall instead. Ah, that hurt. That absolutely hurt. Check that out. Check the arrow out. Arrow comes in, he moves down, he's trying to dodge out on the ETC jump, moves straight into it, and then everything just goes to hell. Unfortunate. And of course, now we have a level 13 talent advantage for Oxygen Esports. We have them with 4 kills to 2. They have 2 forts that they already took down, and they obliterate the fountain so that there's no tap option any longer for the blue team. And they also take the... Oh my god, careful, bro. Yeah, well, makes it out. There was a lockdown. But yeah, they take the camp away. So this is a pretty good position for them to be in. Great map control right now. Lead in experience, lead in talents. This is pretty good, pretty solid. Doesn't get much better than that. They just have to make sure that they're still holding on to the advantage. The next Immortal is spawning, and I suppose by the time that it's on the map, Sidestep Kings will have their own level 13, but they have to move back into the middle if they want to use the fountain, whereas we still have one at the bottom of the map and at the top for the red team. So Oxygen Esports is in a solid spot here. There's the 13, and off we go. Full on, look at this, Eradicating Spines now too. Full on Hardened Carapace setup. Illusionist, that's at least a great tool for him. But yeah, they are going super defensive with a lot of the abilities that they're using right now. And Kaddles and Uberak, I mean, again, his builds have changed a lot. As CCL started, he was already homing in on some of these builds that went then later on into debilitation even instead of the Epicenter. Then at some point he switched into an engage style and came in with a Subterranean Shield. Team compositions obviously force you to also adjust on your talents a little bit, but this one is definitely very different from what we have seen him use in the recent past. So now this objective, oh, careful. If they don't win this one, they're going to be in trouble. They can't afford to lose keeps now too. Arrow connects, big one, but they can't get the kill. They can't get close enough for the kill. So the arrow hits home, but that's all that it does. And now they're going straight in for the halftime show again. At least Sidestep Kings did some damage, but of course the halftime show victory goes over to Oxygen Esports, and they have a good setup to maybe lock in another Immortal for their team. Damage output, 30,000 for Cassia, 30,000 for Tychus. The two damage dealers are on eye level when it comes to that. Ultralisk, he's poking, always from the sides, looking for these combos, looking to take that Immortal down. And Oxygen Esports, they want the kills now. Here's another potential move from ETC, could have gone for a slide, there it is, this time against Urel, but they're losing points on the Immortal. The commitment from the Sidestep Kings, it is there. They're really trying to make the plays now, but they can't quite make it work yet. Arrow is going to be up in another 10 seconds, by the way. And they're pushing them heavily back, especially Tychus is in trouble, and he doesn't have Odin any longer, so that's nothing he can use here. Look out! And Nubarak also getting absolutely murdered here. And Hanzo uses now the time that he has to rotate towards the Immortal to burn this one down too. And thanks to the level 4 Talers, no problem. Everybody for the Sidestep Kings was low in HP. They had to fall back, they couldn't re-engage. So that's another Immortal locked in for Oxygen Esports. Now granted, this one has a lot less shields than the previous ones, but it's also a level 16 talent that is about to hit for the red team. So once they have that, they should use that to their advantage to drop the bottom keep. This is a really good setup for them now to make those plays. Yeah, they have also the Earth Shield. And again, this, by the way, is a perfect situation where I can highlight again. Take Earth Shield if you're going into your Ancestral Healing. You want to have those extra seconds to land the Ancestral. You start with the Earth Shield, you drop the Ancestral. This is how you make those plays. I've seen way too often on the amateur level at least, Bloodlust combined with Tidal Waves. That's not the setup that you're... sorry, not Bloodlust. You can combine Bloodlust with Tidal Waves, but you don't want to combine a Bloodlust. You don't want to combine the Ancestral Healing with Tidal Waves. So yeah, that's definitely a setup that you don't want to go for. If you go into Ancestral Healing, drop the Earth Shield on the 13. Earth Dress Totem for the combo with the level 1. Keep is down. I don't think they're going to push very much farther than that unless they see a kill opportunity. But the Keep was a foregone conclusion as they moved in. 16 talent plus Immortals is too much. But they are looking to see if they can maybe end the game. And they're taking a Nubarak down. And Nubarak is dead. The shield is going to fall. They're going to do at least some damage. Maybe not. They have Catapult here. 98%. Can they get a bit more? They are poking it down slowly. Diva Explosion is coming in too. And they are sieging up on it. Another kill would more or less guarantee them a victory here. But they might still be able to take it after all. They're poking Li Ming down, and the core is down to 69%. Even if they fall back here would be great. But they take Urel, they take Lucio, and that is going to be the end of Game 4. We're headed into a 5th map. This one goes the full distance, everybody. A 5-mapper in our Heroes of the Storm tournament here. The Sidestep Kings lose to Oxygen Esports on Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 5, our Heroes of the Storm game. Our match is going the full distance here today. Sidestep Kings against Oxygen's Esports, everybody. We have Dragonshire as our final map, and I'm pretty happy with this. I like that a lot. Dragonshire over, let's say, Volskaya Foundry. Hell yeah, I'll take that. Cattle on Garrosh. We got Kyoja on Imperius. Stukov is playing Hyde in our 5th and last game. We got Godfilth on Phoenix and Ultralisk on the Chromie. On the right side of the map, Prismatism with the Zeratul plays. We got Red Robot on Muradin, Madara on Sylvanas, Banana Age on Karazim, and Nazmas is playing Diva. Okay, alright, here we go. Let's have a bit of a look of what kind of game we are getting now, because we had wild matches. I mean, game number 1, insane turnaround, the IGN moment, the 6.5 out of 10. We had a couple of, I don't want to say stomps, but let's call it a bit more dominant performances by a team or another. But the entire game, the entire match was actually dominated by some interesting compositions and styles that the team busted out there, which I find super funny. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. And look at the aggression over here. Oh my god, the Sidestep Kings. They're going ham on this one. Madara is AFK in the bush, gets an immediate report, and is just like, I don't want to really go up against these guys. So that's a nope from me.
Nope.
But yeah, so Sylvanas is actually staying back a little bit. We have again this cleave style, the old school style that is played in North America still, with Void Prison that will come through for Prismaticism. Would be surprised if he adds to this personal setup than the might of the Nerazim. That's honestly one of the things that I kind of miss a little bit. Now, with the European players playing on the NA server, we see them very rarely commit to a hero like Zeratul, just because it would be so much more difficult to get good combos and just like these edgy plays off. But at least on the European server, when you have a Zeratul in play, Might of the Nerazim is just such a fantastic tool if a player has a high skill level, and what they can pull off with that is incredible. Now, these isolation plays that we're seeing still on the NA side are not really a thing on EU anymore, but of course you can get also like value out of a good VP if you set that in. It's not often that you see a wombo combo still used. I mean, even if you have any kind of Jaina plus Zeratul set... What the fuck? Alright, fair enough. I mean, nobody interrupting. They're stealing the Siege Giant camp away down here at the bottom, and that delayed them long enough that we have Dragon Knight now, 2 minutes into the game. So I guess there's that. As I was just about to say, even if you have Zeratul Jaina, we most of the time don't see a Void Prison into Ring anymore, because it can be interrupted too easily. But yeah, that's a wild one here. Dragon Knight gets taken super quickly. Now, it's not going to get tons of value, because this early in the game obviously didn't scale a whole lot or anything. But it did work. It drew a couple of the resources towards the middle. It also dropped the wall. And talking about dropping the wall, they dropped the wall topside too. So with the help of Sylvanas, they were able to get that done. Now, interestingly enough, those Siege Giants have done a fair amount of damage down here. That doesn't really help the Sidestep Kings up to the point where they take the wall itself down. Now, Khaldor is still sitting here in the middle. But yeah, that was definitely an early Dragon Knight. Okay, so we've seen Fury lately play with the double clap on level 4 and the healing static, so the old school Meridian build. In this case, it's more about the single target damage again, with the reverberation coming through for Red Robot, meaning that Bronzebeard Rage on level 13 is going to be a thing again. But yeah, Khaldor is sitting tight at this point now as well. And of course, once that we have him with his ult, Zeratul needs to be even more careful, because that could then result in him just getting taunted out here. Yeah, once they open this wall up, this 50% HP on the fort is going to become important. Right now it doesn't really matter, because you can't get access to it anyways to take it apart. But once that they're poking the wall down, that is going to change things quickly. And by now we got the blinding speed in, we got the wormhole, so there's a lot of mobility there for the team. Talking about mobility, yeah, Prismaticism hopes to be a bit more mobile here. There's a good Stormbolt. Imperius goes down at the top. Down here, they can't get the kill. And topside with a kill against Imperius, that's nearly gonna be a fort now. They are burning this down so quickly now. Level 7 talents are there. And this is it. Fort is down. Yeah, that's a kill potentially. Nope, they can't even get the kill against the pilot. Nicely done. Instead, it's Hyde who's in trouble all of a sudden. And Oxygen Esports, they are determined to win their 4th match on the 4th playday of the CCL. Yeah, they're doing actually really well this season. Extremely well here. So right now, 1 kill to 0. They are not out of the woods yet. I mean, we've seen some crazy comebacks. Game 1. Game 1. Yeah, that was probably the one game that annoyed Oxygen Esports the most, considering how far ahead they were. So that could happen again. And Sidestep Kings would be very happy about this. This would only be their 2nd match win if they can make it work. What a nice save. Oh, no. He still died. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, check this out. This was actually well done. I mean, we're looking into the middle. And that was the setup right there. So they lock him down first, then Kyoja steps up, helps him out, and they turn it against Godfilth again, and they get the kill. So, nicely done. Good kill. But, yeah. It kind of feels sad when all the effort that the player puts in to save one of his mates all of a sudden gets just negated by a play like this. But, yeah, job well done. And a good thought there too. Khaldor gets isolated too, he gets body blocked. Yeah, he's dead. There's no escaping here. He's down. Can they get the kill against Hyde too? No. So at least he is able to move away. And off we go. Dragon Knight number 2 is in. Push down through the bottom of the map. Void Prison is now ready. 7-sided strike. And we have the mind control. Mind control into a 7-sided strike is now technically possible if they can play that out. So there's a chance of that happening. Top side, Kyoja is dealing with it. Prismaticism is coming in for a bit of damage, will not be able to take it. Chromie, in the meantime, goes down at the bottom of the map. So Chromie is dead. Still action in the mid lane from the Dragonite. Level 10 abilities allow them, of course, to be way more aggressive now. There's still no heroic abilities for the Sidestep Kings. And yeah, Garrosh is doing his best, but that fort is falling. That's 2 forts eliminated, 4 kills to 0, and Oxygen Esports opening up map number 5 with a bang. Coming in, hitting hard. So, yep, there we go. Dragonite is still poking out the bot lane. If they, yeah, they take the fountain. That's rough. On all the lanes, Sidestep Kings are now in trouble when it comes to lane sustain. So winning the shrines and the objective is going to be incredibly difficult for them from here on out. If it's a long and drawn out battle, they won't be able to fall back and top off mana and hit points. They haven't even taken the one at the bot lane down. That wall is still standing, at least part of it. And Prismaticism is using his wave clear as he roams through the map to put even more macro pressure on them too. So that's exactly what they're currently doing here. So off we go. We got 6... Look at the damage numbers, by the way. We're 7 minutes in and we haven't had a single player crossover into the 10,000 hero damage. That's what we are seeing here now. We are seeing very quick kills, very decisive plays being made, and isolation kills on the map. With a lot of macro approaches too. And that's with 2 Dragonites, by the way. So that tells you all that you need to know. So at this point, here comes the move with Red Robot coming in already. Nazmaz is sitting at the side here, hoping that he can maybe disrupt the backline. But they also need to take care of these Siege Giants, so they are getting pushed forward. Top lane camp is still moving in, and Kyoja has to take care of it with his Imperius. But he's also busy in the mid lane, soaking another wave. So that's another one. And, well, right now... I have to move towards the top and deal with this. At least Imperius needs to. Imperius is actually in a spot where that he's moving back. If they can keep Mirrodin alive, Zeratul might be able to push the top pretty hard now. So, yeah, he pushed another wave out. So the minion camp is going straight through the Bridge of Death. But they could get the kill against Ziva. Not even that! Damn! Madara also moving away. Zeratul still roaming around. Catapult is in. This is going to do some solid work. The Siege Giants have already started to drop the fort down to 50% HP. And Zeratul moves between the lanes once again to push another wave out. Diva could also join here. Right now we have Imperius all the way at the top. Yeah, it's getting spicy here because they're losing way too much. The forts are pretty much all gone. The one at the bot lane is technically still standing, but probably not for much longer. And with all of the lane pressure coming in, it makes it tough for the Sidestep Kings to get to one of the Dragonites. I mean, this is another one. Dragonite number 3 is taken. It's just this continuous lane pressure on 2 lanes and then Sylvanas moving in and enabling the rest of the team to take structures down. So Sidestep Kings are falling just behind on all lanes. They are falling completely apart here. They can't match the wave clear at this point, and they're heavily struggling just meeting that Sylvanas pressure whenever a Dragonite is taken. And after they lost the forts and the fountains, they couldn't really fight for those shrines anymore either. So what they need is a team fight. They need a good team fight. Now they got level 13 talents. If they can take a few kills, they might be able to push it back, take a few forts themselves, and then go for an objective eventually. Right now, what we're seeing instead is the Dragonite coming in, just pushing the mid lane, starting to take that down, playing it really safe, not engaging, just using the Dragon's Breath, getting a few hits in, and the rest of the team is trying to enable Sylvanas to push this even further. We got 11 stacks on the baseline for Mirrodin. Got level 13 talents now for both of the teams. As expected, the Bronzebeard Rage is in. And yeah, as you can tell, hero damage, not high. Not a lot of... There's not a lot of fights that are happening that are heavily sustained or anything, or a lot of poke, and they're setting the VP up for a potential kill. They want to go for the mind control. That didn't quite work out, and they're trying to retreat. Sylvanas has to pop her medallion and is starting to move away. Keep is, by the way, starting to take damage at the top lane now, so that's another side effect of all of this. And this level 16 talent is coming through. This is exactly how you want to play this out. Get the level 16 talent, get also your Void Slash for Zeratul. That in and of itself is already a huge thing. And you got more in unstoppable frames for Sylvanas as well on top of that. So there it is. Here comes the play. Choke point control. Mirrodin, he makes it out. They're taking the camp. Diva, salvo is coming out. Explosion. That's gonna hit Kyoja. Yep, he's dead. Gets mind-controlled into the 7-sided strike and the explosion on Diva, as you can see here. I mean, just check this one out. That one was sexy. The salvo was strong, but then the explosion comes in and boom, mind control. Into 7-sided strike, into explosion. That's a kill. 5 versus 4, and they can go through the bot lane again. Zeratul is busy in the middle. He's trying to go through another wall. Top side is something that he will have to deal with, but they are just making the Sidestep Kings react to their every move. The blue team has such a tough time now to just call any shots. They have a really tough time to making any kind of plays on the map. They are the ones reacting over and over again to what's happening on the side of the red team, and they themselves are not able to make any plays. Initially, they were the ones being aggressive. They went for the opponent's Siege Giant camp and sniped it away. They tried to go for the kill at the top right. Now we're talking about another potential Dragonite. With level 16 talents and the advantage through that, there's pressure. They're 5-manning the bot lane right now. They're trying to 5-man the bot lane at this point because they just can't do a whole lot more. And that allows Zeratul to push the lanes out even further. Don't forget that the Sidestep Kings haven't taken a single kill yet. Not one. Now, they're taking the camp at the bottom. That's actually good because now they have level 16 and they should be able to take the fort down. With that commitment, they should be able to take this. The problem is they have to split Kyoja back towards the top lane. With Zeratul pushing this out, if you don't split someone off, you're going to lose the top keep. There's a camp coming through, and you have a double wave moving in. So the fort is down, but what are they going to try and do now? Zeratul is still rotating. All about the experience here. I mean, check the experience lead out. He's at 16,000. He's way ahead of Imperius at this point. He moves into the middle, he moves at the top, and there is the Hearth. Kyoja has to fall back, and does it as we speak. So that keep could take a bit of damage. Even if it doesn't, forces all of them back. And what does that mean? Free access to the bottom of the map and therefore another Dragonite. And Zeratul is already on the way. Is anybody going to interrupt them? Hell no. You can't do anything here. I mean, what are you going to do? They are completely out-macroed in this game. There's another Dragonite. This is the 3rd one that they're getting. Another free one, pretty much. And it's time to go for the keeps. I mean, just look what's happening topside. That camp is doing a bit more damage over here. They're all barreling down on the bot lane, by the way. Oh, can they take the pilot? Nope. Can't kill Nazmas. Can't take him. Yeah. Dragonite still poking it out. Together with Sylvanas. One hit from afar at a time. And they want the 20. This is like the weird spot that they're in. They have a Dragonite that they want to use, but at the same time, they're also only half level away from the Storm talent, so it's kind of awkward. Technically, there's one kill now for the Sidestep Kings, but it's only mechs that they've been killing so far. So yeah, they're just using the Dragon's Breath to burn this down. Slowly but steadily, another one over here in the middle. Alright, they're gonna get that. Nearly level 20 now, still 25 seconds. They can poke a bit. They can take another fountain down here. And Cattle wants to fight. He wants to engage, but here's the Storm talent. They got the Storm talent. The Dragonite is starting to attack at the keep in the middle of the map. Sylvanas upgrading the mind control, and it's getting rough. Especially with Muradin having access to rewind. Now, he has not completed his baseline yet, because we didn't have these fights that I've been talking about. So he doesn't have that, but they kill Garrosh. Garrosh is down. Oxygen Esports, the triple VP, can they follow up? They're going for it, the mind control, and that's a kill against Chromie. Chromie is dead, she delays it, but she's gonna die. Chromie is down, Imperius is down. This could be the end of the game, this could be the end of the series. Oxygen Esports, they are definitely on the path to take a 4th match win in their 4th match in the CCL. Yep, that is some solid performance here. Nicely done. And on map 5, Sidestep Kings just didn't have a chance. 9 kills to, well, technically 1, but again, they didn't really kill a hero. They only killed some mechs. Solid games. Oxygen Esports establishing their pole position spot once again in the CCL. Nicely done, well played. And congratulations to another big victory for the red team here on Dragonshire.